All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our morning note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. All right, we're starting a little early today because we got some news. We got the non-farm payroll report. I've been talking about that the whole week, how it was so important. So we're going to take some time to break it down, the numbers, the reaction, and what's the next move, and of course, your questions. All right, so let's kind of go over it here. I'm going to go and bring up the non-farm payroll report here. If I can find it, get the breakdown. All right, we got a couple of things here. So I'm going to go to my TweetDeck. TweetDeck is what I use for all my news and Twitter. So let's see. U.S. unemployment rate at 5.4%, beats estimates of 5.7. U.S. Average hourly earnings are up 0.4%. It beats estimates of 0.3%. U.S. average hourly earnings year-over-year growth 4%, estimate of 3.9%. U.S. change in non-farm payrolls for July, 943,000 jobs added. The expectation was 858,000. So again, a beat and a beat. Change in private payrolls missed by 6,000. U.S. change in manufacturing payrolls, 27,000, beats estimates of 26,000. U.S. average weekly hours, all employees, 34.8 hours per week. The estimate was 34.7. U.S. labor force participation rate, 61.7% versus 61.7% estimate. U.S. underemployment rate, 9.2%. The previous was 9.8%. So pretty much a beat across the board on jobs. I sent out something on Instagram from the New York Times from Andrew Ross Sorkin, who was kind of breaking down the scenarios. So if you did not read that, I can read it to you. I'll read it quickly so we can go over exactly the scenario that actually hit. So here's the scenario. Strong job growth and hefty wage gains. We saw that beat. So here's a quote from Andrew Ross Sorkin. This is great for now. The post-pandemic economy is in full swing, with workers reaping the rewards, but the recovery is likely closer to the end than the beginning. That puts ambitious government spending plans in jeopardy. The Fed may taper its support sooner, possibly leading to market tantrums. So you can't really have it all, unfortunately, but there's some opportunities out there on different sectors now. So with that being said, we're going to look at what has reacted accordingly. So let's go for it. Gold is down 1.71%. We know gold, again, moves with the safety trade, basically in the sense that when it's a risk-off trade, when people are trying to stay away from risk, gold and precious metals like silver are going to get bid. They're going to be more valuable. Same thing with bonds. So we're seeing TNX. TNX here at the bottom, we're going to go and take a look at it, and there's something to look at here. So TNX, I'm going to go bring up on the daily. TNX is a 10-year Treasury yield. So again, all you need to do is move that digit, that 1%, that actual digit, the actual point over to your left. So again, 1.284% is your yield currently. Right now, we're testing the 200-day based on the yields on the daily. As you can see, there is a double bottom highlighted here at around 1.18, I want to assume 1.17, let's just say. So again, a double bottom here. What does that mean? Remember, we talked about this a lot in the aftermarket recaps. We talked about this in the morning notes, that a higher interest rates, again, that's a reflation trade. What are the reflation trade? Banks, energy, industrial, materials. Those four sectors are going to benefit from higher rates. What hurts with higher rates? High tech growth and tech. Why? Because it costs more to borrow. So again, let's keep an eye on these sectors: manufacturing, energy, industrials, materials, and of course, financials. Financials to me will be the first thing to look at. So let's take a look at a couple here. Before we continue, let me go over the futures. 82 points up on the Dow. Again, that's a little more mixed with value stocks. Value stocks equals reflation trade. Again, like I talked about, industrials, materials, banks, and energy. NASDAQ is down after non-farm payroll report. Why? Yields are up. S&P 500 futures are basically flat. 25% of them, 25% of the S&P is basically 5 tech stocks. Keep that in mind. But look at the Russell 2000, outperforming small caps, part of the interest rate sensitive sector, the reflation trade. So small caps in the Russell, big part of the Russell, the biggest part of Russell are mid-level banks, regional banks. So keep that in your head. Look at crude oil. It's up as well, 1.17%. So again, nice little bounce here as we're tapping near $70 a barrel. Actually, on CL, I didn't speak about it last time, was that we were getting really dangerously close to that 100-day moving average on the daily. If we would have broken that, then we would have gotten a little lower. Now we're around 62.5 a barrel, maybe $60 a barrel, right around the 200-day. So it looks like we bounced. So if you have any energy stocks, that's a good thing for you. The dollar is up 0.35% at 92.56. Even with all this, even with tech down, the VIX is down 1.5%. Why? Because we actually got a strong jobs report. So again, a lot of this stuff, again, a lot of people were probably talking about the Fed and, oh, we're going to get tapered. Well, that helps certain industries. Again, high growth tech is not going to benefit from that. But again, the value names are going to. So again, it's all about opportunities as a trader. Let's take a look at some Forex here. The euro dollar is down 45 pips. The dollar yen is up 33 pips. Look at Ethereum. It's off 2,800 at 27.80, down 1%. Bitcoin is green at 40,780. And that's even with the dollar rising pretty sharply at 92.57. So again, crypto is becoming a little resilient. 3,000 is your level for Ethereum. Once that breaks, basically the worst is over. 44,600 on Bitcoin, the worst is over, and that's where we are. So again, really, really important to take a look at your TNX, which is your 10-year treasury. As we're boosting here, kind of pulled back a little bit, but you could see that. Take a look at Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs looks like a really good trade here. Obviously, I would go for next week, but you could see around 388.90 as we're testing all-time highs of 393.26. I own shares, obviously, with the investment club. But again, we can see that we kind of held that trend line that I posted here on the daily. So really, what's the next level? 395, 400 definitely is in play. Keep an eye on the 395s or possible 400s for calls on Goldman Sachs. JPM, Money Center Bank, the biggest. You can see kind of falling a little bit. 156.5 seems to be that resistance. Maybe place an alert at 157, 157.30 for a break. If that does happen, I target the 159s, if not the 160s. But again, that remains to be seen. Let's take a look at XLF breaking out here up 37.40. If we look at the daily, you could see that we still have a little more room to 38. Once we break 37.40, I probably take a look at the 38 calls for next week. I'll take a look at the volume and see what we get. But I really like Goldman Sachs here. Let's take a look at Boeing, another industrial. Boeing needs to break here at 232.25. If that does break, then we can target 240s. If you want to take a look at a Caterpillar, another industrial, you can see they're up, but not breaking any major moving averages. If you want to take a look at some materials, 3M, they are up pre-market, but not enough to do anything as it's just sideways action here. And if we take a look at energy, XLE is up slightly, nothing crazy, about 40 cents, nothing to trade here. If you go to XOM, nothing to trade here, below moving averages. If you go to CVX, really nothing to trade here. Again, above moving averages, but not much of a breakout. If we go to XOP, this is the petroleum ETF, the actual excavation and exploration ETF, nothing there either. So energy, not much yet, but Goldman Sachs seems to be the winner so far, and they're doing well. So let's take a look at some pre-market movers together, and then we'll answer some questions, and we'll go on. Let's see here. A lot of earnings yesterday I posted. Robinhood is up about 4.73%. Zynga reported earnings. They're down about 15%. Spectrum, I don't know if that's Spectrum Cable. I doubt it. Down 32%. The way I see it, because I have Spectrum Internet. JP Morgan's up 1.23%. Apple's down. Microsoft down. Intel's down. Again, tech is down with this report. Goldman Sachs up 0.79%. Walmart up 0.63%. Again, that's a consumer staple, or defensive if you want to call it. Boeing is up 0.59%. Coca-Cola is up. Look at the banks. American Express, 1.13% to the upside. And again, it's just the tech that's sliding here because they don't do as hot or well with interest rates rising as we're getting that double bottom here on the 10-year yield. If we go to the S&P 500, you can see Carnival's up, American Airlines is up, Wells Fargo is up, Norwegian's up. Again, we're starting to see now that possibly the worst is over. Again, employment is picking up. Maybe all that fear is subsiding a bit here. Again, you can see Nvidia's down, and AMD's down. So again, tech is down. So that's where we are. And on the NASDAQ, you can see what else? Activision Blizzard is down. JD is slightly up. But again, it's all about right now with the reflation trade. So that's what we'll be watching. The other opportunities out there, let's see what we get. I just got a headline here in regards to Robinhood. Filed resale S1 on behalf of certain shareholders pursuing. That's nothing special. We talked about that in regards to gold. Gold is up. Okay, so nothing really new on the news front, but we could see exactly where we are here. So with that being said, let's answer some questions and see what's on your mind, guys. Also, there was some news that United Airlines will be mandating vaccines for their employees. Again, how you feel about that is really up to you. I mean, that's a business. They do what they want. Again, employees are not required to work there, so we'll leave it at that. That's the only and the first and only so far of the major major airlines that are requiring a vaccine to work. Certain industries, certain companies have vaccine mandates to get to the office, Google, Microsoft, and Wells Fargo, but to actually work there, that's a different story, so we'll see. If I want to play Tesla to the upside for a day trade, what would you say is a good entry? 720. Not for a day trade, I would not touch Tesla today, but if you had to, gun to your head, 722.72. Let's take a look at Plug. I don't know if Plug reported earnings, they did. You could see they are up pre-market about $2, still below here this breakout level of right around 28.87. Will growth stocks be hurt by NFP report for today? Yes, they will be hurt today. You could see the NASDAQ is coming down off all-time highs to test the 50. Not really terrible today. It looks like just a rotation just for today. Again, we have to see how the digesting goes for next week and beyond. But again, banks seem to be a good bet. Energy seems to be a good bet. Materials and industrials with this report. Let's see Square and Amazon. Let's take a look at Square. Square is coming back down a little bit. Again, most tech is from this report. Square is a good company. We took profits yesterday, so it was a nice trade. On Amazon, you can see they're down as well. Again, they're considered a tech company. So again, all you are is in range. You're still hugging the 100-day moving average. Really nothing to play there. What did you make of Biden's speech on EVs? Nothing really changed. We know that the private marketplace has been moving over to EVs like Ford and GM. Jim Cramer, I was watching last night on Mad Money, said a very interesting take on GM, and we're seeing Russell starting to move now. Let's take a look at IWM. IWM is on the move now at 224. You could see. So again, it is pushing. Russell is pushing. It's starting to break out now, so that's important. Sorry about that. In regards to EV, nothing has really changed. Jim Cramer was talking about GM and Ford being extremely cheap in regards to the market multiple. He's not wrong. But again, the leader in EVs, in my opinion, is still Tesla. They were the first there. They have the technology. They're the ones that are going to benefit the most. The price action has been kind of crap lately. But again, as an investor, you don't mind. All it's been doing is hugging that 50-day moving average on the hourly towards the upside. So still bullish, but not good for calls. But I still like what the EV market is going. EV is the future. Again, the idea is who's going to join and who's not. Morning, Carlos. Do you think today will be a good day for puts? Depends on what you're playing puts on. If you're playing puts on tech, possibly. But again, I like the banks and small caps. That's what I'm looking for opportunity. So that's what I'm looking at, Carmen. IWM play. IWM, I'm watching Russell for a possible futures trade, maybe target 2300. But again, things can change very rapidly. So let's wait till the market opens. Let's see how everything digests with this number and go from there. Ad level for Penn. Again, we've been buying dips on Penn. Love that name. I own DraftKings as well. They also had their report. 52.87 is my support. That's where I'm going to start. I'm going to buy more on Penn. And you expect QQQ to recheck the 50-day on the daily. Let's go and take a look at that. On the daily QQQ 50-day, absolutely not. No, not right now anyway. But could it? Yeah. I mean, that would be support, if anything. I think once you get to the 50-day moving average on a NASDAQ, that's when you want to start doing a little shopping for some good tech names that you've been wanting to add anyways that have been doing well the past couple of months. Again, Apple has been trading very well. Didn't break the 150 yet. AMD has been doing excellent, so it gives you an opportunity to possibly buy some more there. Different names out there, Google, what have you, that have been kind of pushing up and everyone's been waiting for a dip. Are you still waiting for 107 on AMD? AMD, I have calls, and then of course it fell, so no biggie. Again, I have until next week. If anything, I was looking at the 50, it broke it, but again, with NFP, you see 109.87 on the 100-day moving average. But again, things can flip immediately, so again, we have to wait till the market opens. Keep in mind, guys, pre-market, the volume is very thin. Again, you have to wait till 9:30 till things change, because yesterday everyone was going crazy for space. It popped and then it dropped. And you can see we hit as high as 35, 45 in a print and came back down. If you bought space calls, out of the money calls yesterday, unless you got them at 32, you're probably not going to make money for today. So again, that's an example of pre-market movement versus the real movement that's coming up. So kind of sucks to play those 0 DTE, data expiry trades. I would not recommend them, but again, that's where we are. Level to watch on a 10-year, what's the resistance? TNX. The resistance next right here is 1311, which is your 200-day. Break that, then banks are really going to start cooking. If anything, they'll probably start cooking now. But the next resistance after that, R2, is 1.4, which is 14. So just keep that in mind. 1311 and then 14. You can actually place the alert there if you like. But again, I've been kind of pounding the table on the 10-year for a while now. A lot of people don't like talking about it. Maybe they just don't understand it. But it's extremely important to watch that US 10-year. It's really a good barometer of the market. A lot of people like to use VIX. I like the VIX as well. The VIX is down nearly 2% today. So again, good news all around on the payroll front. GS calls for next week. Again, let's see what we get in regards to volume for next week, but that's what I'm looking at, yes. BABA thoughts, boss. I love BABA. I own it long term. You can see that it's now just moving and hugging the 200-day. If the 200-day can cross below, or 50-day can cross above the 200-day, that'd be nice. That's actually a bullish movement. Again, we do have a gap to fill right around 206.05 in order to get there. Maybe a break of 202. Tough one here because the Chinese can just throw out any kind of headline they want at any time, and then that affects BABA, even though BABA is a solid company. But again, we lump these companies together by sectors or where they're from, and that's just the reality. Great bid on the Russell today on pre-market. Do you see this trend continue to next week? That's a tough one to say because sometimes small caps, they're the most volatile of all the indexes, or the big indexes. So again, we've seen it where it'll bid in the morning and then fall in the afternoon. So again, you have to be very fluid on IWM. IWM I would not touch until 227 at least. Russell seems to be breaking out right at that level here of 2251. Again, maybe a break of above this level of 2258, because that will probably confirm the move because that's above the recent highs. I'll place an alert there. I had my line here, but I'll put 2258 for Russell and see if it breaks. Thoughts on Walmart possible breakout? Yep. Walmart, again, one of our top 10 stocks of 2021, and you can see Walmart is starting to move. It finally filled the gap. The thing with Walmart is that it runs extremely slow. So again, for calls, you need volatility, you need moves, and Walmart just doesn't do that. It just doesn't. So a difficult one to trade. I wouldn't be getting into anything here. I think Walmart's a great company, but again, all it did right now is basically fill the gap. So it could reverse back down a little bit, possibly get back down to 143, maybe 140. If that, I expect Walmart to run a little more. The question is, do we have enough volume to play calls? That's really the key on Walmart. So that's where we are. So again, I apologize for starting a little early. Make sure to turn notifications on. We had to go through a lot with that non-farm payroll report, kind of disseminate the information and go from that. So let's rock and roll and see what we get today. Have a great rest of your weekend. I will catch you guys on Monday for the morning notes, and let's have a great trading day, everybody.